that agreement and how it relates to what might ultimately happen in international negotiations. So I'd punt on the demonstrations.
In fact, to the point where protesters are almost being invited to turn up, there's been so much attention on that aspect of it, particularly in the Sydney media.
And they're clearing the jails already to put them in, that sort of thing.
But it's interesting, isn't it? I mean, it does say something about civil disobedience and the sort of culture of street protest now, that they do demand a greater response from the police than even the terrorists do. It does seem a bit of a problem to the stage where in Victoria, for example, the Chief Police Commissioner says we shouldn't hold these kind of things in Melbourne anymore.
Well, I think that's a good point. I don't know what this is doing in the middle of Sydney. It creates a security nightmare for those planning that, and it causes immense disruption to the people who live there. I mean, you could have it up on Hayman Island, Ayers Rock, or wherever it is.
There's no better place in the country for a fireworks display, right?
They could have seen some of the real Australia in the Dead Heart, you know, or Red Heart, or whatever it's called.
Okay, final observation?
I think we're going to see yet more sort of politically motivated plebiscite talk when the parliamentary inquiry on the local councils and their plebiscites moves on to Queensland this week.
Kevin Andrews once again made it clear that he thinks it's absolutely fine for a politician to put someone in jail for several years, which would have been the result of what he did with Dr. Hanif if it hadn't been for the fact that the charges were dropped.
Well, he said if the legislation was reworked or reworded too, he would still be in trouble. I mean, you could do that on just about any situation.
I think John Howard was too passive on global warming. Now I think it's too aggressive. If it's going to make global warming, take heed from this. Brisbane held a walk against warming over the weekend. Bob Brown was there as a guest speaker. They got 150 people less. It actually rained on it too. So there's a couple of images for you.
Okay, and just for